Welcome, welcome everyone. Thank you so much to our fellow ballroom dance fan, Camille, who has posted some super awesome questions in the comments of some previous videos I've shared this last couple days that I'd love to answer for you guys. I think they'd be helpful for everyone. Okay, so the question was, how to build and maintain a healthy and productive dance partnership. Okay, guys, this is going to be the biggest challenge of your dance career. Far more challenging than becoming a skilled technical dancer, in my experience and in my observations, okay? I've often heard it said that a dance partnership is more challenging to cultivate and maintain than a marriage. And having been married a long time myself, I could not agree more, okay? So first of all, and I'm going to have 6 suggestions here that in my opinion will be very helpful for you. Number 1, treat your partnership as a business, not a personal relationship. And I know that's hard to do because there is absolutely a social and intimate aspect to dancing, but it is a business relationship unless your goal in the partnership is purely social and nothing else. No lessons, just showing up to dances together, in which case, hey, keep it social. Doesn't matter how it feels, doesn't matter how it looks. But if you have any sort of competency goal, very important, okay? So treat them like you would treat a coworker. Number 2, right out of the chute, the partnership is going to be doomed to fail if you do not have some common agreements. And these agreements might require you to have a little flexibility and meet your partner halfway, okay? So core areas you need to agree on are: what style are you interested in? What level would you like to achieve? What is your end goal? Do you just want to practice 7 days a week? Do you want someone to go to social dances with? Do you want to be the most desirable social dancer in town? Do you want to compete locally? Do you want to compete nationally? Do you want to win a national title? Do you want to compete internationally? These are all very different animals that will require different approaches. And so you'll need to find a compatible partner, okay? The path that you agree on is also important. So who are you going to take lessons with? What is your lesson budget? Are you going to take groups? Are you going to take privates? How many? Which days of the week? Will we practice? Where? How many days of the week? Will we travel for coaching? How often? What's our budget? Who will pay? So kind of like premarital counseling without a counselor. Hey, talk about these things openly. It's going to serve you well in the long run to avoid potential arguments, hurt feelings, a wasted investment of your resources, okay? Again, this often includes compromise. So, for example, my first partner, his end goal was to teach. My end goal was to learn. I wanted to become the best dancer I could be. So these were actually very different end games. But we did agree on a common course of action to get there, okay? So we were able to agree on the coaching, on the location, on where to compete. He did see competition as a vehicle and coaching as a vehicle for increasing his own learning and his own skill to become a skilled, desirable teacher. I saw the learning with zero desire to teach, which is ironic because I love my job and I've been a teacher for a long time, but that wasn't my goal at first. I just wanted to be a good dancer. So it's okay if your goals are slightly different as long as the path is mutually agreeable and beneficial, okay? Number 2, we did have some disagreements about the coaching. So just to share my experience with my first partner, he was very results driven and comps, ironic because he hated competing. So he was very eager to take political lessons. For me, I wasn't results driven at all. I know it sounds weird being a competitor, and especially at the championship level, but for me, I wanted to learn as much as possible. I wanted to get different feedback that made sense to me. I wanted to enjoy my lesson time. And so these were very different kind of courses of action in terms of who we absolutely agreed on our core coaches. We had total mutual agreement there. So the larger dragon was slayed, but certainly any of those visiting coaches, honestly, a lot of arguments. Now looking back, I could have handled myself better. I paid for almost everything in our career together except for his costumes because I had a better job. And I think that's fair. I had no problem with that. I have no regrets to this day. But as such, I don't think it was fair for me to flex my muscle in this area, which I did. And he had absolutely no say. He was powerless. So I certainly couldn't force him to take lessons with people he didn't want to. And there were coaches he refused to take with that I really loved taking with. Hey, it happens. But I had the upper hand in that I refused to pay for any coaching I didn't want to take. And honestly, he is right. That did hurt our marks in competition. I could have cared less, didn't hurt my goals. But honestly, looking back, I should have been more open to compromise. That would have been more respectful to my partner. So I'm embarrassed about it, but I'm just being honest with you and what I would recommend for success long-term in your partnerships, because this did create arguments that looking back were probably not necessarily, wouldn't have cost me that much time and money to take one for the team, okay? Okay, number 3, basics like personal hygiene, being punctual, doing what you say you will, showing up when you say you will, not canceling at the last minute unless it's truly an emergency, not blowing your partner off because you feel like sleeping in with your new hookup. These are very important things to do to be courteous and respectful to your partner. And if you view your partnership as a personal relationship, you're much more likely to take advantage in these ways. So would you do that to your boss at work? Not if you want to keep your job. Would you do that to your partner? It doesn't matter if it's an amateur, if it's a pro-am, be professional. Okay, number 4, be patient, okay? You are not as an amazing of a lead or follow as you think you are. I hate to tell you that, but it's true. Another bad news for you. You do not know as much about doing your partner's part as you think you do. You are not as much of an expert in their part as you think you are, okay? So even if the partnership begins in unequal footing, where one partner is exponentially more experienced than the other, honestly, you will level out very soon, okay? So always treat your partner and their opinions with respect. Dancing is an art form. There are people that, even high-level coaches, that teach something completely different than the ISTD book says. So there's more than one way to skin a cat. Your partner is not necessarily wrong. It's just different than you. This is where compromise, again, comes into play, okay? How do we do this? We make respectful, sensitive word choices. We don't raise our voice. When you do, hey, everyone has moments, we all do. Apologize as soon as you realize, oh gosh, I maybe could have handled that better. Apologies go a long way. And if you feel bad, it doesn't make you a bigger person by huffing and puffing and pretending it didn't happen. Apology goes a long way. Next, if your partner needs a mental health break, if they need a break because they're just a little burnt out, give them that break. Even if they need a whole week off, that's fine. From both of my pro partners, I wanted to dance and practice and take exponentially more time dancing every day than they did. And honestly, I burnt them both out. Looking back, it was my fault because I pushed and pushed and pushed, and I wanted that 7 days a week, 2 hours a day. And if I didn't get it, I had attitude. So you do need to compromise and allow your partner a break if they need it, okay? It will pay off in spades later. And also, you don't want them to dread coming to practice to hear you berate them because, they blew off practice last week, okay? It's okay, as long as it's not every single week, okay? And they're showing up when they say they will, and they plan when they need time off, okay? Also, be patient in terms of understanding, recognizing for you and everyone else in the world, you will have off days where the practice or the lesson won't go well. Happens to us all, no biggie. Drop whatever dance it is, try something else. If that doesn't work, you know what? It's okay to end the practice early that way. Come back the next day. It's probably going to go 10 times as well. 99% of the time it does. Even if something doesn't go well several practices in a row, it's not a big deal. It's probably not a long-term problem. You know what? Everyone has off days. Even Serena Williams didn't win all of her matches. It happens. That's what happens with a human body. We are not a machine. It's not reliable like that. Okay, number 5, give feedback right away if you don't like the way you're being treated. Okay, don't bottle it up and let it fester for months and, oh my gosh, he's putting me down. This is another regret in my first partnership. He would often belittle me, berate me, and I didn't say anything until it had long become a habit. And a habit is hard to break. So don't let it become a habit. In retrospect, I should have been mature, not been afraid of a mild confrontation, and said right out of the chute, hey, it's not nice to call names. I really mentally turn off. When you tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, and then I have a hard time processing what you're saying. So even if your partner's all jacked up, stay calm, tell them. You know what? They might leave in a huff, but they're probably going to go home and reflect and apologize. And you know what? Odds are a lot better that's not going to happen again, okay? If you share that feedback. Also, your partner is not psychic. You know what? They probably have no clue they upset you. So they're going to keep doing it just because they didn't know. As a matter of fact, this happened to me this week in a lesson. And it was a very humbling learning experience for me, although I have known this my whole amateur career as well. You might come across as mad at your partner when you're actually mad at yourself. Okay. And whether this is a pro partner, an amateur partner, this does not matter. Sometimes we get very impatient with ourselves. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not able to teach this. What is my problem? I'm a horrible teacher. You know what? Nothing works all the time. Drop it that day, come back, calm down, be forgiving of yourself, and be mindful of how you talk to yourself out loud when in the presence of your partner, okay? Because people by nature are insecure. They're going to internalize that and feel it's aimed at them, okay? And you never want to be hurtful to that partner, okay? In a nutshell, you need to always treat your partner, whether it's a pro-am partner, a pro partner, an amateur partner, as the precious gift they are to you, okay? Treat them as a precious gift. And finally, number 6, accept if it's not working out. I'm not talking about one practice. I'm not talking about 1 week of practice. I'm not even talking about 1 month of being together. But if you've got 4 months in a row where you're fighting every day, it's okay to move on. And honestly, it's probably for the best interest of your dancing that you move on. I know that's hard with that emotional investment, with that time investment, with that financial investment in that partnership. But you know what? You walk away an exponentially better dancer probably than when you went into that partnership, okay? You've grown in skill. You are now a more desirable dance partner, okay? So It's okay to say goodbye to a partner, move on to another partner. Hey, if that other partner doesn't work out, maybe you both mature and you re-partner in the future. These things do happen. And finally, just approach that mentally from your own perspective as well, where you are always replaceable, okay? There's always an amateur partner out there that can replace you, guys, realistically, whether it's a man or a lady. There's always a pro out there. Maybe they're not your skill level, but if they teach your student better, it's a better match for them. Maybe your, student, same thing. Everyone's replaceable, okay? So always treat that partner as a precious gift. So I hope that's been helpful. Thanks so much for your question, Camille. If there's anything else you guys would like to hear about the ballroom dance world, I'd love to share my opinion with you. Your question probably would help a lot of people. And if you're a fan of all things ballroom dance, want to hear more about ballroom dance stuff, hey, subscribe to my channel. Thanks for joining me today, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.